It's party time. Hi there, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you're having a great Saturday. It is the Michigan Football Postgame Live. Along with former Wolverine Jim Scarcelli, I'm Dennis Fithian, and we are ready to talk about a Michigan victory 34-3. How about it, Scar? Number 3, Michigan. They take care of business in their penultimate home game. Started out with a little snow out on the field and end up just giving up a paltry little 3 points and get the victory 34-3. What'd you think?
Hey, it was like RG3 said, man, it might not be the sexiest thing, but all we do is win. You know, it was a great deal there. Like, you know, we made a couple mistakes on offense, a couple mistakes on defense. We'd like to see us throw the deep ball better, but we worked. We got to work on our run game and grind and all that stuff. All those reps are going to we're going to benefit from them later on down the line. So a lot of good things to talk about. Wasn't perfect, but we're 10-0, and it ain't easy to be 10-0.
10-0 for the first time since 2006. Yeah, we'll talk about the passing game and what they need to do and everything else. But, you know, when you take a step back and you get to tomorrow and you realize and you look up and you say, Michigan's 10-0. I mean, this is for the first time since 2006. And Ohio State's, you know, right there after one more game. This is really what you wanted. So, you know, and you're right, you know, RG3 and the partner there, Mark Davis, I think his name is. You know, they said it wasn't sexy, and then RG3 said, but the effective to be able to get to this point, and that's it. I think people in this game here, this was a foregone conclusion. Nothing against Nebraska. They had a backup quarterback. They ended up having to go to their third string quarterback. Everybody was expecting a rout today. So when you tuned in, you're thinking, all right, let's just see Michigan come out there and flex. Sure. Get Corum all the yards because, you know, he's right there in the Heisman mix for sure. Let's, you know, keep him as a Heisman front runner. But then let's see, you know, Michigan flex their muscles in the downfield passing game. And so you tuned in for that and the entertainment and the blowout. And you ended up getting a workmanlike effort. But, you know, the fireworks didn't materialize, Scar. They didn't get those. They took their shots. They lit some Roman candles out there. But a lot of duds. You know, tell me, let's start there. You know, there are a lot of great things. And, you know, if you want to start with something that was positive, but a lot of people on their mind about the passing game. You know, you're a guy that played the game. You coached for a couple decades here in the state. What did you see when there were a number of times that Michigan in the one series, it was 2 in a row that they tried to really heave it all the way down the field, and it didn't materialize. Well, what do you see there in the downfield passing game?
It's the same kind of thing we've been talking about. There are small windows. You know, we don't have the big, tall guys that are just going to out jump people. It's partly quarterback, partly small windows, and it's frustrating. And it's but there's no answer other than to just keep working at it. You know, there's no magic formula. But Denny, you got to remember something too. You know, even though they had their, you know, second and third quarterbacks in there, we had a hard time moving the football against that Nebraska defense. That's the same Nebraska defense. There's a lot of good players in there still. So it wasn't like going to go run up and down the field against that defense because there was nobody missing there. You know, we put 34 on that defense, which is good. And we ran the ball and we ran it and better than we did last year. So, yeah, there's some things that to take from there that are encouraging. But yes, the deep pass game, because you know, Denny, if I'm defending Michigan and I don't have to fear that deep pass as much, because you know Ohio State is looking at that. You know, that's gonna enable them to maybe go more, you know, man, zero coverage, not have a free safety and apply more pressure at times if they don't fear our receivers or our ability to go deep. So it's something you know, people will make you pay if you can't do enough of it to make them fear it to some extent.
Yeah, I think that's part is well said. And this has not just been a one game deal. This has been an entire season type thing where they have tried to get this. And, at first you're like, hey, they'll get it going. Look at JJ, look at, the first time starter, look at these wide receivers, they'll get on the same page. Then it kind of felt like, they just needed one. And then it would kind of break the seal, and then I think myself, and just looking back at it and taking it all in, I think they're at a point now where they're pressing, and I think all of them are pressing. I think JJ makes a lot of he does almost everything that you like, and he's learning and he's getting better as he goes. But when it comes down to the downfield passing game, you need touch. You watch guys that are really able to do it, and they put the proper amount of air under, and they work really well with the receiver, and the timing's all there, and it's a connection, and it happens. And it hasn't happened all year long. And there is somewhere. There have been a couple times, like last game, Andrew Anthony, he could have really helped him out if he would have made, I don't know if I call it a great catch, but a good catch. You could even say that he should have had it. It was like the Cornelius Johnson that was on the seam. And, it wasn't the perfect pass. It looked a little high to me, but could Cornelius Johnson, maybe he jumped a little bit early, but could he have caught that pass? Yeah, he could have. So you've got something. I think the receivers are pressing a little bit, and I think the quarterback is pressing a little bit. And I don't know if they have the answer. They've got another game, or, Ohio State, are they going to, try the deep ball against Ohio State, or if they go further, I mean, is this something that could prevent them from, reaching their, their ultimate ceiling, whatever it is? I kept thinking that this is going to happen, but been an all season type thing. They do a lot of other things well. They do some of the other things great. So, this is the one area.
Yeah, Danny, and it's frustrating, and it's exactly like I said, though. Defenses are going to look at it and figure out what can they get away with defensively, to play man, to pressure, to get extra people in on our run game. It was great to see Roman Wilson back. I think we're a much better offense with him on our football team, with him healthy. He just makes plays. He's good on all that underneath stuff, the bubble screen stuff. So it was good to see him. Kind of a little frustrated with Ronnie Bell there on the goal line. I don't know what he was thinking, trying to do something cute. Only he knows the truth. I wasn't sure what he was doing. That fumble there would have been real bad. But Denny, I don't know the answer, but the run game was good. It was good to see them two young running backs get in there. I like them both. They both run physical. Stokes and Dunlap. It's good to see. Looks like Donovan Edwards is a little banged up. And those two guys are, they're solid. They're going to be good. The future looks good at the running back position. So that was good to see. Secure the ball and run physical.
And yet, we're here, and you can always on Spaces get in, ask a Scar a question, talk Michigan football. You can also in real time make a point or ask a question. I know this is on a lot of people's minds. Scott asking if there's any updates on Donovan Edwards' health, and everybody was thinking that as they were watching the game. And Donovan Edwards told the radio crew that he was okay, but we didn't see him back out on the field. So maybe he's dealing with just a little something minor. Maybe they, whatever the reason was, he was dealing with something maybe coming into the game. We'll see what they have to say, afterwards. Sometimes they'll just say, look, yeah, we wanted to get some other guys in there, and he got a little nicked, aggravated something. Sometimes they won't say anything. So we'll see. Nothing further as of yet, except that I did see that he told the home radio team that he was fine. So you can take that, at least for where we're sitting right now, for what it's worth with Donovan Edwards.
That's why you got to have depth, man. That's why it separates the good teams sometimes from the average teams. I remember the Michigan State people telling me when they were recruiting me that, we can compete with Michigan's top 22. It's the next 44 guys. They're going to have more depth. So that's what you have to have. We're going into week 11. I remember as a player what it is to play in week 11. Everybody's banged up. everybody's got 4 or 5 things. You got fingers that are smashed up, bruised elbow, thigh that's, everybody's got something. And you just got to find ways to work through it. And then you hope you have depth for the stuff you can't work through. Now, Scooney, I don't know if he played at all. I think he may have. Did he play at all, Denny? No, he didn't play at all. So, again, we're getting the young Bredesen and Loveland, that they got a lot of reps and they're getting better. So all the upside to that little ding that he's having is we're getting more reps for the other guys. And Honingsberg had a real good game blocking. So yeah, those 3 tight ends did a good job in there, and you got to develop your depth. All those, that's why it was so important during the the Hawaii game and all those games that we got these guys playing time. And now Rutgers last week, we got guys playing time. And again today, there was a lot of guys that got reps on offensively. And El Hadid did a great job in there, subbing in for Keegan. He gives us some things offensively that, Keegan maybe isn't as good at. I think El Hadid is a little more athletic. Some of the trapping and things that he's asked to do. He gets to the linebacker, I think, a little quicker. So he was outstanding today. Jim will talk about him. But a lot of backups in there did some good things.
Yeah, I thought Will Johnson stood out in the secondary, flying around. He continues to play better almost every game out there on defense. But, the focus, and I'm already looking at the feedback, I'm going to put the questions up there, and I'm going to have you answer them, and I'm going to do my best to give my opinion on it. Michigan's in a great spot. They've got their home finale next week, and then it's down to Columbus. Can they beat Ohio State? I mean, that's what's on everyone's mind. And the passing game, there's a lot of people, if you say, I'm looking like people are saying the passing game has serious issues. The passing game is in disarray. I would say it like this. The passing game, J.J. McCarthy does a lot of things well. When he's rolling out to his right and throwing the ball down the field, he does a really good job. He gets the ball out really quick. He can throw it down the seam. He can also throw it in the intermediate throws down the sideline. I mean, he can make all of those throws. Where the passing game has serious issues is down the field, way down the field. So that is something that, whether you want to say it's holding them back or they have an issue with it, it's been something that has been there all year long. They haven't clicked. I think they're totally pressing now. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to ever connect on a deep ball. I do think it's part with the wide receivers that can help out and snare some of these passes. Some of them are hitting them in the hands. We all know that, you're supposed to, catch anything that hits you in the hands. I also think that JJ doesn't throw the most catchable pass when you're talking about him throwing the ball down the field. Maybe a little bit too much pace, not enough air, just not enough touch, all of those things. And it's been all year long. So now thinking that it's going to click, I mean, that's what these last couple of weeks were about. You're kind of hoping like, okay, they're working on it, but it hasn't. So that's where I'm at with it. And a lot of people are talking about the passing game. I want you to answer some of these questions, Scar. Are you ready?
Yeah, good to see Hayes back in the lineup at left tackle also, though.
I'm with you on that. All right, let's get to some of the questions or points. Jeremy says, our wide receivers can't get separation, slow down on routes, can't make contested catches, and the route trees were terrible. He would have benched them all in the second half. All right, Scar, there you go. There's a few things. Separation, route trees, contested catches. What about those points?
Yes, separation is an issue. We don't have, and you would have hoped that a guy like Angelo Anthony with his height would always be open if he doesn't get separation, like the kid from the big receivers we faced the last couple of weeks. So yes, I agree with the separation thing. We still have people open on different routes, the short routes. It's the deep stuff. I think we do a good job of finding people open on a lot of our different routes. And today we didn't make the contested catches. We have, like you talked about, Kojo, that would have been a great catch. It was a catchable ball, but it would have been a great catch. Denny, a lot of this, I actually noticed today was one of the first times we did a lot of straight drop. A lot of our passing is off the RPO stuff. So that, it doesn't, I don't think, always set up for deep passing, because I don't think we even, if it's incorporated in what we do. A lot of it is rollout stuff, which doesn't always give you the deep routes. And today was a lot more straight drop stuff for JJ. But yeah, separation's an issue, and we got to get receivers to make plays and get separation. And a lot of it, though, some of it is the scheme also, that a lot of our stuff is throwing on the move.
Yeah, I think separation, it seems like that to me. But there's also been some cases where, if you drop that ball in there with some touch, you're going to be able to make the play. The thing when people talk about route trees, I think this has been like a buzz thing over the last couple of weeks. And to me, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Scar, and you were just talking about it there, and I think you're kind of hitting on it. If Michigan was just doing one thing, like if they were just go routes, like if they just had some kind of max protect, and every time that they were trying to throw deep, they were going down the sideline, and McCarthy was airmailing it, you'd say, well, that they keep going to the same well. They're trying, like they've had some go routes. They've come over the left hash, the right hash while he's rolling out. I don't know if people are talking about more like combination routes that they want to see more, and you're going to have better protection where you're scheming something up downfield. I don't know, like how many more when you're talking about a route tree. Are you saying, all right, you got this progression, you got this progression, you got this one. He's running a curl, he's running across, he's running a fly.
Danny, a route tree is kind of all of the different routes that you can run: an outcut, a curl, a post. Okay, but I don't see Michigan having two players in the same spot. That's not like we do that. I don't think we have a problem with that. But I was just thinking about what we do well from a pass offense standpoint. Number one is we protect real well our offensive line and our backs. Another thing we do real well when we pass, when we drop straight back, is our quarterback runs and makes things happen. That's another thing we do well. And we obviously throw the short stuff well. So, I just want to be encouraged with it because we have done some good things. I don't think did we have a turnover today, Denny? I don't think we had a turnover throwing the football.
Bell one was almost a turnover, right?
Yeah, or running the football. But, our protection is good. Our quarterback does things when nothing's there, and we're doing okay with the underneath, the shorter stuff. And I don't see our receivers, doubling up, getting in the same zones. We just got smaller guys, and it is what it is. And let's just try to enjoy this win. Enjoy the run game, Denny. Enjoy the run game, because believe me, we had success with the run game, but all those reps, every rep with success that you run against a team like Nebraska, all those reps are going to help us in 2 weeks. But believe me, even though we didn't throw it as well as we could, as we wanted to, having success with all the little things we did with the run game are going to help you. Another thing I thought about today, again, I look at a game always from a coaching standpoint. I'm glad we played in wet, cold, nasty conditions. I already looked at the weather. We might get this kind of slop again in 2 weeks down in Columbus. They kind of got an early weather report going. So I'm glad we played in wet, sloppy, conditions like that. So I'm going to stay positive on it. And because there was a lot of good things offensively that we did.
I had some thoughts, and this sounds like either I'm stupid or spoiled or something as I'm watching the game, because Michigan just moved to 10-0, and I'm not tired of watching them win football games. I'm not tired of them, grounding and pounding their way into the end zone. But I was tuning in thinking, because Michigan was such a big favorite, that they would be able to do this one thing that it looks like that could potentially hold them back. And that was, whipping the ball down the field. So when they weren't able to do that, and then there was a clock management issue towards the end of the half, it felt a little bit like it didn't feel like the most exciting game, because I wanted fireworks, I wanted bombs, and I was just getting like little sparklers. And so, again, that's me. Now, I'm not going this far. TCM thinks that Michigan's offense sucks. and they're going to get destroyed because they can't complete a pass for more than 5 yards. Now, look, there is an issue, TCM, but they can't complete a pass for more than 5 yards. That's a little bit overboard. Stokes is coming along nicely. Yeah, he had some nice runs. He looks good. You like Stokes?
Yeah, I just wanted to see, knowing we have someone, if something was have happened to Corum, we got Donovan banged up. So it's good to see that I always like to look at the future too. There's two good, tough, physical kids in there. So we know we've got people coming back. But yeah, listen, Nebraska, Denny, they didn't let us have anything easy. We didn't have any explosive plays. We didn't have the big 50-yard runs. It's kind of frustrating. We're a 4 or 5 yard a crack deal. And again, that's a compliment to Nebraska to some extent. They didn't give us anything easy, but what else do I have here? Yeah, but we converted on 4th down, and Denny, again, I saw early in the game that I could tell we were winning the line of scrimmage. We won the line of scrimmage again. This is another week that our defense won the line of scrimmage and our offense won the line of scrimmage. So that's, we didn't throw it as good as we'd like, but we were able to control the line of scrimmage, and we'll get to the defense in a minute. But when we really had to move them, we moved their front, which was a pretty good defensive front.
Here's where I'm at with Michigan's offense and the diversity of it and everything else, even the play calling. That I realize that if it's going to be a 3rd and 8, that Michigan just might run the ball. And if they're in the opponent's territory, they might be thinking that they're going to go for it on 4th down. So I'm not going to get crazy. Why would you even think about, what are we talking about running the ball on a 3rd and 8? Now, running the ball 3rd and 8 when you're on your own side of the 50, like they've done a few times this year, like in a 3rd and 6 even, or 3rd and 4. I don't like that, but they do it. And they keep doing it, and Harbaugh's it's not going to surprise me if they do that against Ohio State. And if it works, I'm going to applaud Jim Harbaugh, because I'm going to say, all year long, Jim, you guys would go for it. It's predictable what you were going to do, but you just stuck to your guns. And if it works against Ohio State, I'm going to say, man, you're a master. And if it doesn't, I'm going to criticize him. I think that, we saw it again today. You mentioned the 4th and 2. It's like, this one's going right up the middle. This one's going right over the left side. Boom, right over the left side. No, they pick it up. They're like, I knew where it was going. So did everybody else, but they got it. And, that's what they're going to do. And I think that's what they're going to do against Ohio State. So they're predictable when it comes down to what they want to do. But they're saying, hey, stop us. And if that's going to work against Ohio State, they should be congratulated. But if they get really predictable and, they're getting stuffed because Ohio State's stack of the box and look like they know the tendency, well, that's going to be something that you can say, hey, we kind of saw that one coming. Logan says he's really impressed with the defense, but the no deep ball in the passing game is going to hold us back. He says he's overall disappointed. Trash Can Man doesn't like the dual offensive coordinators. He doesn't like the scheme. Jeremy says it doesn't need to be 50-yard bombs. They just can't get separation except Wilson. So they're going to rely on the play calling. And Leo says he's ready for the young wide receivers to get a shot. Our vets aren't getting the job done. I think that's a fair, we saw a little bit of Tyler Morris, Amarion Walker last game. Darius Clemens in the spring game, went off on a deep ball. And, the coaching staff was telling folks this guy's going to be super special and everything. Maybe get Darius Clemens out there and see if he can hit a home run.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not showing it in practice or what's going on there. But, Denny, at the same time, I would say this, that, as a former defensive coach, you have to defend the offense. You don't just defend the quarterback, the running back, the left tackle, the deep game, the short game, the power play, the Jets. You have to defend the offense. So, when it's all said and done, when we look at what's how this year finishes up, but if we're able to do what we did against Ohio State last year, then we're going to put all these little worries away. We're going to say, you know what, maybe the Michigan philosophy is good, because maybe it's the last kind of offense Ohio State wants to see. Let's hope. I mean, we're 10-0. We've done some good things. I'm not panicking, because there was enough. We threw the ball to the young freshman tight end caught a ball or two today. So there was other guys catching the ball, but let's evaluate it. Let's at the end of the year, but as of now, we've scored a lot of points. We've kept our defense off the field. We didn't fumble we didn't put our defense in a sudden change situation. So again, you're talking to a guy who understands defending an offense. I know a guy that won a state championship. Again, this is high school football. Never threw one pass and won a high school state champ. Again, that's high school. So I don't want to. Don't beat me up on that statement, callers. But I know that you have to defend the offense, not just parts of it.
I say it ranting and raving at the halftime of the Michigan-Washington game last year in the preseason, saying, look, Michigan was running the ball, but they only had a 10-0 lead. And like I was saying, look, they're playing what looks like really dominating football, but they can come out and start throwing the ball in the second half. And if they don't do that, people are going to start booing the home team at Michigan Stadium. Well, they came out running the ball, but they ran it right down the field and bulldozed their way and, ended up running for, 343 yards and 56 carries. But that was just setting the tone for the rest of the year, because that is what they wanted to do. That's how they wanted to play. And all through the year, you kept saying, they're not going to be able to do this against Ohio State. And then they did it against Ohio State. So there's a point there. I'm not panicking either. I think I was tuning in today, hoping, and it wasn't even to be surprised. I was expecting for them to work on it and show what they've been working on in practice and see it against a team that I knew that they were going to beat. And I think they knew it as well. And, they didn't do that. So you could be a little bit concerned, panicked, and, accepting defeat. I mean, those are the kind of things, fans do that. Let me take this feedback and then let's watch a little bit of that first drive, Scar. Ayo says the team was still dominant. Our identity is running, and that's how we win games. You can't expect Michigan to become a throwing offense in a couple weeks. We're making throws on the field. What do you think, Scar?
Yeah, I kind of agree more with that statement. It's we are what we are, man. You hire Jim Harbaugh, that's what you're going to get. Ryan Day is not our coach. We got Lincoln Riley is not our coach. We got a guy that likes to grind it, and I agree with what we're doing, and I like it. We ran our power play pretty darn well today. We didn't get the big gains, but we really executed it really, really good. And I'll look at some of that stuff Monday. And I again, all those plays, all those repetitions, your players are putting them in, man. The reps matter, because it's hopefully it's all gonna pay off in 2 weeks.
Here's the first quarter from the Michigan game. Got it queued up, and what we're looking at here is
straight drop back. Yes, there's the overthrown. Oh no, there's okay. Yeah, but that was a straight drop, and we just don't do a lot of that sometimes, Denny.
A nice connection in the passing game. That's where if you say Michigan can't throw the ball over 5 yards, the passing game sucks. That was a nice throw. That was a nice gain.
Well, it looks like there's a nice little we found a nice little seam, yeah, they're in man coverage, and
15.
Ronnie Bell puts a nice move on them, and
20 yards.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a nice throw and catch and great protection. Set off up. It's a play action. The better you can run the football in there off that action. So here we go with Donovan Edwards in there. Yeah, he's probably banged up. He didn't look like he ran it in there as physical as he as he has in the past. So there's no sense playing him, especially with those two young guys. If they can give us what they gave us today, There's no sense playing Donovan hurt.
Yeah, to your point, like playing in all weather conditions here. I mean, it was this first drive, it was really coming down.
Oh, this is a great win. A great win for us to play in those conditions. Yeah, there's no separation there, nothing.
That was a deep ball shot. For those that are listening
Yeah.
and not watching, it was the deep ball shot, down the left sideline. I don't know if it could, you want Anthony to fight for that one a little bit more. The people say, well, he didn't get separation. I mean, the defensive back was in front of him. He had a better shot at that one. So I don't know if that one never had an opportunity to work here. There's the 3rd and 6, and I think they're going to pick this one up. This is the first drive of the game.
Yeah. Let's take a look here.
3rd and 6, first quarter. 8 minutes to play.
This is an inside run.
And there you go. You like the play call, 3rd and 6, run it up the middle?
Well, Denny, we're unpredictable though, because we throw it often on 3rd and 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would be screaming, like almost everywhere else around the country. You're on a 3rd and 6. And you say, well, are you kidding me? What are you doing?
Denny, I tell you, if we charted Michigan, I guarantee you that we are unpredictable on 3rd and 6. And so I don't have a problem with it. He probably
knows he's going to go for it. If it gets down to 4th and 3, 4th and 2, he's going for it.
Yeah, I think we run the same play down here.
Yeah, same play. Here it comes.
Yeah, because we just block it down. Look at Honigsberg. Look what Honigsberg did to that kid. He knocked him 5 yards down the field, put him on his back. 84. We'll take a look at that play tomorrow. He was out. I'll tell you, that 44 for Nebraska was a good player. Watch 84, our right tight end. Look what he does. He caves this whole wall in down here. Puts his kid on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Barnhart there. I mean, that's just caving dudes in, blocking down.
Do you get a pancake for that, or?
Yeah, they extra syrup for that one. Yeah, that's pancake. Yeah, he had a good game, but one time that 44 stood him up, but for the most part, here we run power. We were running it to the weak side today. It depends on how a team adjusts. Sometimes a team will overplay your tight end side. Michigan coaches said, okay, we're going to run power away from the tight end, and we had a lot of success with it. And I thought one of our best days. Oh, I thought that was Flavor Flav there for a second. How about Flavor showing up on our sideline, Denny?
Welcome to the Terra Dome. Yeah.
What time is it, baby?
Yo, what up, boy? I was glad to see 76 out there looking so good on that last one, pulled all the way around and was in on the linebackers.
Yeah, there's power now again to our left side. Young freshman in their blocker. I'll tell you, Zinner did he does a pretty good job pulling and trapping in there. They've done quite a bit of that with him, trapping and running the power play away from him. He's athletic enough to get out there and lead up in on a linebacker. So again, that was another. We probably ran the power 12, 15 times today, and maybe had a negative play once, but for the most part, just like RG3 was saying, we were 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. I'm sure we're blocking down here straight ahead on that one. Yeah, that one wasn't blocked well.
I think RG3, when they were taking deep shots, was saying over there, brought Flavor Flav and was saying, can't trust it. All right. Yeah, so what we're doing here, if you're listening, is we're watching Michigan on their first drive. They're moving it methodically down the field. They did hit a 20-yard pass to Ronnie Bell. They did have an overshot pass down the left sideline to Andrell Anthony, but on a 3rd and 6, they ran it right up the middle. On a 4th and 2, they went for it. They ran it right up the middle. And now they're sitting down at 2nd and 10, and Donovan Edwards, who left this game and did not return, we're going to see if we get an update on him. He's in here in the red zone. I know Michigan's first 2 drives, 2 touchdowns in the red zone. That was something people were complaining about, myself included. Here was a throw to Roman Wilson in the end zone. People were also complaining that Michigan throw to the wide receivers in the red zone. Here they were throwing to a wide receiver, Roman Wilson, in the red zone, and it didn't work, but there's a flag.
Yeah, we get the flag. I mean, he would have been open if he didn't hold him. So, our coaches aren't afraid to throw the ball down there, if we have to. But Yeah, this kid has to hold him. And again, Roman in the game, Roman healthy, man. That's our offense is different with him. He gives us a little more of that speed and space.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Denny, we look, we take the first drive down and score, but I think our next 3 possessions we got stopped. We cannot do that in 2 weeks. We sure as hell can't do it next week. I mean, Illinois lost today, but Illinois is going to play great run defense. We'll talk about them Monday, but they're going to be one of the best run defensive teams we faced. Here we go.
First and goal
from the tight ends in the game. And it wasn't perfectly blocked. Those guys come unblocked off the edge, and Corum finds a way to get in the end zone. But we caved that whole side in, and get in there. Short yardage offense. So, there you go.
Yeah, well, Blake Corum, he did nothing but help himself today when it comes down to the Heisman Trophy. 28 carries, 162 yards, and the touchdown that you just saw there on the screen. Would you like to have taken some of those yards away and given them to a wide receiver down the field? Yeah, but, we're just dealing with what happened here. And I haven't seen anything about anybody talking about Donovan Edwards and anything that Harbaugh or if anybody else said anything about him. I do have a tweet from Angelique Shingelis from the Detroit News. She has talked to the U of M police, or she has a statement from the U of M police, and it says the U of M MSU tunnel case has been thoroughly investigated in cooperation with Michigan State University Police and has been turned over to the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office for review. So I thought that this was going to come to some kind of resolution before the game, but here in this latest statement, they have now just turned it over to the prosecutor's office. So there you go. And Angelique also taking a picture at the end of the game that the Michigan team was held back from the tunnel after the game until every Nebraska player left the field. So there you go.
Well, if that's what it's going to take, sometimes that's how it is with a lot of things. That one incident changes everything. So, I was sad to see that coach get knocked out. I remember my first year coaching, Denny. You don't really know when you're a player. You got helmet and shoulder pads on, and when the ball comes running to the sideline, you don't really worry about it so much. But when you're a coach, you don't have any protection. I remember getting gleeked one time bad right into all the Gatorade. But you learn as a coach, you better get out of the way, man. And old Coach Whipple took a good spill today, but hopefully he'll be okay. But yeah, we threw the ball on first down on the goal line. One of our touchdowns was on first down on the 10-yard line. We threw it. I think it might have been our second touchdown down there. So, look, our coaches they realize that we have to be able to do a little bit of both. But then again, you got to be able to have some type of run game in the red zone.
We do have an update from Jim Harbaugh in the press conference. Brandon Justice, the senior editor of the Maize and Blue Review, was there. Here's a couple of things just minutes ago that he posted about what Harbaugh had to say. The first Junior Colson was up and addressing the media, and he said Mason Graham is going to be special. He had a hell of a game. No updates on Donovan Edwards from Harbaugh. So there you go. No updates there. Harbaugh said he was beating himself up for the clock management at the end of the first half, said he should have called a timeout. It only ended up costing us one play, so he took the criticism there. Justice asked Harbaugh if it's difficult for a quarterback to get into a rhythm when there are 17 passes to 44 rushes, and Harbaugh said, yeah, that's valid. All right. Oh.
Yeah, hey, Jim would know. He played the position, and it's part of the downside of what we do. We want to run it a little bit more than the next guy, and our quarterback just has to be that much special. That's that much more special. But then let's talk about the defense real quick.
All right.
You're absolutely right about Graham. That kid is that's a football player there, 55, and he keeps getting better. He made plays today Oh, he's outstanding. And, it was good to see Grant, the young guy Grant. He's getting better. He was in there with the second series of the game. He was in the game. Benny was in there, second series of the game. So what that tells you is if our coaches are putting those guys in there, second series of the game, that means they're getting better and they have a lot of confidence in them. And there's not a huge difference between the starter and those guys. So that's really encouraging that, a lot of young guys are getting better, getting developed. Mozzie was outstanding as always. Jenkins was outstanding as always inside there. And Rooks is another guy that gives us depth, was good. I thought our edge players were pretty average today. I saw Mike Morris lose contain. Oki lost contain one time. Upshaw had the late hit. There was just, we were okay. Edge guys were okay. I take a real close look at that. It's a position I played. I thought Junior's real good against the run. People want to beat up Junior about pass coverage, but you know what? Some people want to run the football, and that's when you got to have a 230-pound, strong, physical kid, and that's Junior's strength. And he does the best he can in the pass game, but it's just hard to find Superman. So he's a pretty good defensive player against the run. And I thought our secondary as a whole tackled pretty well in space today. I know Nebraska's pass game was not outstanding, but we did a little better job tackling in space.
I know we've been hitting this one, but Antoine getting in saying that Michigan's just throwing Hail Mary flat. That's not a high percentage. His solution is run more than two routes. Adding some simple slants could cure half the problem, he says, when it comes to the deep ball. It's not a high percentage when the last time you see Michigan run a slant or a cornerback route or an out route. You think he's
sometimes I don't know if maybe JJ doesn't throw the slant well. Because I think we used to throw it a lot more with McNamara. We threw a lot more slants. I don't know if they're seeing something as a coaching staff. Do a lot of JJ's passes get knocked down? I don't know the answer to that question, but it did seem like we threw more slants with McNamara.
He doesn't throw a lot of fades, but that one to Roman Wilson where he caught the flag, would you call that a fade that he was going out there on? When, which showed that first series where he got held, was that ball going to be?
That's a fade. Just a fade is a deep route along the sideline is a fade.
I'm talking about down there in the, you don't throw a fade when you're down in the red zone and you're kind of lofting it up to the corner.
Yeah, you could. People do that. They try to get, just like basketball, try to get your player, to get position and just throw it over his shoulder. But what else defensively? Hey, Denny, how about let's just talk about the bottom line. They got 3 freaking points, man. 3 points against our defense. They had a quarterback out, but they had 2 other kids in there that played. We stopped the run again. Another football team that comes in to play against Michigan, and we stuff their run game, make them one-dimensional. A combination of a lot of stuff. Again, good scheme, some different things. Klinksdale and Minter will do different things each week. We did it again this week. I saw different stunts, different things, and our players are continuing to get better. And it was great to see a lot of guys play. It was just nothing. I don't know how many series they went 3 and out. But what bugged me is the kicking game. Here we go again. We almost had a punt blocked again, Denny. Did you see that?
Well, yeah, with the roughing call or running into the kick.
But it was the same damn thing that Rutgers did against us. We had 1 less guy protecting. They brought 7. We got 6 in a long snap. I don't understand why we do that. It's just trying to be cute. Bring the guy in. Let's protect. But we almost had another punt blocked. But our kick return team had a nice little return in there, and Mooney was outstanding again. He didn't kick many field goals, but he was good on his extra points and everything. But that punt game, it just bugs me. I don't want to be screwing around with that.
All right, let's get some final thoughts, some parting shots here. For me, Michigan comes into this game and, they win it 34-3. They're a 30.5-point favorite. When you take a 10,000 feet look at this one, we've been looking at it and analyzing it. But when you take a step back and look at it, they're all right. They're 10-0 for the first time since 2006. They'll be a heavy favorite against Illinois coming up a week from today. And then what kind of shot they have against Ohio State. That's what a lot of people are thinking about. And if Michigan would have gone out there today and they would have connected on, I'd just say one. If they'd have connected on one lousy downfield pass, I think people would be like, we're going to smash Ohio State, but they didn't. So it's something to worry about. That and the injuries, I think people are worried about a little bit. But, they're on track here. They've got a Heisman Trophy finalist who's right in the mix. If they could win everything here, this could be one of the greatest seasons. That's the one thing you got to remember. This sucks and everything else, but Michigan's going to have a shot. And really, can you have a shot to go down and leave it all out on the field and play Ohio State with everything on the line, with a chance to go to Indianapolis and go to the college football playoff and maybe win it all? They are in the mix. They're going to have a shot to do that. That's where I sit. That's my parting shot, Scar.
Yeah, my parting shot would be we got a team coming in here. These seniors are going to play their last home game at Michigan Stadium. I'm not even thinking about Ohio State. If I'm anybody on that football team, I want to send our seniors out winners and playing their last game at Michigan Stadium. I remember my last game. It matters. It's a big event for the seniors, so there'll be motivation. We'll have a great week of practice. We got, Illinois is not a joke. They've beaten good teams. They went into Madison and won. They got they're well coached football team, and they're going to challenge our offense ability to run the football. We're going to have to throw it against them, and but we'll have a great week. We got a lot of guys playing. We're a 10-0 team. We shouldn't be panicking about anything. We should be confident and happy for the direction of our program. And that's the way I see it.
I like it. Scar, great job. I look forward to talking with you and you bringing up some plays on Monday, things that you thought were interesting in the game today. And so we will talk with you on 1 o'clock at 1 o'clock on Monday.
Another winner, Denny. Army. You want to win money? Listen to Scar.
He's right. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I think his record, you might be 10-2. You're 9-3 at the worst, but I think you might be 10-2, 11-2, maybe even with your picks.
Nothing but winners. Go blue, baby. Have a great one. We'll talk Monday.
Nothing but winners.